And in the meantime, there's been this horrible tragedy in the UK. Oh, of course, Rio, you'll know about yachts, won't you? Because you know about sailing, don't you? So what? Hang on. Oh, no, I've lost. Right, so in the meantime, something else that's happened, but I don't think it's been on the news much, and it's a terrible thing, which is this terrible fire in Bradford, the Bradford house fire. Let's have a look. That has killed a mother and her 3 children. I don't think much has been said about that on the news. So this woman, Bryonie Gawith, and her 3 children have all died in this fire, which was set deliberately. It's murder. It's murder. It's deliberate murder. Somebody has murdered this poor woman and her 3 children. Bryonie Gawith, 29, her daughter Denisty Birtle, 9, son Oscar Birtle, 5, and daughter Aubree Birtle, 22 months old, all died in the blaze on Westbury Road on Wednesday in Bradford. Now, I want to say a prayer not only for them, because obviously, I mean, just looking at that picture, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? You can't believe it. But also, I want to say a prayer for the rescue services and that, because that will have been so grim for them to have to sort all that out. How awful. Anyway, a 39-year-old man was arrested at the scene on suspicion of murder and taken to hospital with critical injuries. So do you think he tried to, whoever it was, it's a domestic dispute. I don't know if it's her husband. I don't know if it's the children's parent, father, but it's definitely some sort of family connection, they're saying. A family dispute, they're saying in the news. Bloody hell. I mean, that's a hell of a family dispute, isn't it? So there was a service, there was a prayer service, and people were invited to attend the service at St. John the Evangelist on Cooper Lane. Look at the house and all the flowers outside. So why has this not been on the news more? Because, is it... I feel like that bloody... although it's awful, the yacht sinking and everything, it seems to have been given more news time than this, which to me, because this is a deliberate act, I don't know. I mean, who decides what is news or what isn't news? But this is just, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? So, speaking on Wednesday, Detective Chief Inspector Stacey Atkinson said, whilst inquiries are in their early stages, we believe that the fire was started deliberately and this incident was domestic related. The BBC understands that detectives are investigating whether the suspected arson attack resulted from a dispute involving another family member. Is it going to be one of those family annihilation cases? Something's happened, and sometimes these people, men, normally, I did a series about it, didn't I? There's a playlist, Family Annihilators. It's quite common. These, it's normally men. It's 99% of the time it's men, I'm afraid. And they just, when things go wrong in their relationships, they decide not only they're going to delete themselves, but they're going to take their partner or ex-partner and all the kids with them as well. They feel like they have the right to do that. Anyway, this is someone who came to pay respect. Zoe Henderson and her son Harlan came to lay a tribute and pay their respects. And she said she'd known Miss Gawith from being little, but she'd not seen her in recent years. It's heartbreaking because I haven't seen her in a lot of years, and it's really sad news. The 32-year-old who had come to place a Teddy tribute at the scene, along with her 8-year-old son Harlan, added, "I've got my own children too, so it's even more upsetting. I cried last night in bed. It's such a shock to the system." Police have appealed for anyone who was in the Westbury Road area at the time of the incident or who has CCTV or doorbell footage to get in touch. So this is in Bradford, which is in Yorkshire. Now, for those of you who are not in Britain and maybe don't know this area, but Bradford, just looking at that picture just breaks your heart, doesn't it? Just absolutely breaks your heart. Poor things, at least they're all together. That's all I can say. It's there's nothing positive in this at all. So yeah, just wanted to tell you about that because as I say, I don't think it's been covered that much on the news, and I think it's important, and I will keep an eye on this story. And again, we're just going to look at some snippets tonight of different things, but when we know more about this, I'll do a video, specifically about this. Poor little angels. I don't know. Do you know what I feel lately? That I'm just always looking at children who've been murdered. It's just like nearly every, I try and avoid children's cases, but sometimes you just, you can't ignore it when things like this happen. That's wrong as well, isn't it? They need to have their story told. They need to be talked about. But I just feel like lately I'm just constantly looking at pictures of little children who've been murdered. What's going on?